Buenas and good afternoon. My name is Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
Thank you so much for joining us here in our studios on the 7th floor of the DNA building in Hagåtña, Guam. And it is looking like, according to all the forecasts that have been made by the National Weather Service here on Guam, that Typhoon Mawar is intensifying. It's continuing to approach the Mariana Islands, and it's continuing on a forecast track toward Guam and Rota. But there is information from the National Weather Service that says don't hang your hats on that forecast just yet. This is the information from them as of 3 p.m. today. At 1 p.m. tomorrow Standard Time, the center of Typhoon Mawar was located near latitude 9.4 north, longitude 147.6 east. This was about 340 miles south-southeast of Guam. Storm motion was north-northwest at 9 miles per hour, and storm intensity was 100 miles per hour. A sharp westward bend in the track is expected to occur as it nears Guam and Rota. When this westward bend occurs, will really determine which islands receive the brunt of all the impacts from Mawar. There is still some uncertainty with the overall track as Mawar approaches the Marianas. It is vital that you do not focus on the exact forecast track. The aforementioned westward bend will be crucial to determining the overall impacts for all the Mariana Islands. An earlier bend would confine the greatest impacts to Guam, while a delayed bend would bring the possibility of typhoon force winds reaching up to Saipan and Tinian. At this time, the most likely scenario is a passage near or over Guam. For those under a warning, and so right now Guam and Rota are under the typhoon warning, and Tinian and Saipan are under the tropical storm warning. For those under a warning, now is the time to rush to completion preparations for the protection of life and property. Evacuate if directed to do so by local officials, or if your home is vulnerable to high winds or flooding. For interests at ports, docks, and marinas, urgently complete prescribed preparations according to your emergency operations plan for tropical cyclones. If you live on a boat, make final preparations for securing your craft before leaving it. Regarding any coastal waters under a warning, small craft should remain in port and well secured. Closely monitor NOAA weather radio or other local news outlets for official storm information. Listen for possible changes to the forecast. For additional precautionary and preparedness information, please refer to the detailed recommendations relative to your location as further described by your local National Weather Service office and local emergency management. So we have a situation where it's the current forecast tracking. You see that the National Weather Service is saying don't heavily rely on that not changing. You know, pay attention to the news because things can change. Yeah. But according to the current forecast track, things are coming in the direction of Guam and Rota. Rota being a part of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Guam being its own political entity. And so you have a situation where information is going to be coming out of both the Joint Information Center on Guam and the Emergency Operations Center, Joint Information Center in the CNMI. Speaking with Governor Arnold Palacios prior to the show starting, he was talking about preparations being made for logistics to be sent to Rota because he says it is looking like things are going toward the southern Mariana Islands, being Guam and Rota. And so when we come back from this commercial break, we plan to have Governor Arnold Palacios on the phone with us to talk to us about what emergency officials are telling him about the situation in the CNMI and what preparations and logistics he's making for the people of Rota and to a lesser extent for the people of Tinian and Saipan and how things are moving along in a rather quick fashion as Typhoon Mawar approaches the Mariana Islands. Are we ready for the break? And so when we come back, hopefully when we come back, Governor Palacios will be off of another phone call that he has, and we will have him on air with us. Welcome back, and thank you for continuing to watch us on our coverage of Typhoon Mawar and what specifically is going on in the CNMI. And I think this conversation is going to steer more toward Rhoda. We're honored to have on the phone with us CNMI Governor Arnold Palacios. Buenas, Governor.
Good afternoon, Troy.
Thank you so much. We will not keep you long. We know you're very busy, but we wanted to know what it is that you're commanding over there and the situation with Rhoda.
Yeah, so as the information rolls out from National Weather Service, we are seeing that Rhoda would be the impacted of all the islands up here in the CNMI. Rhoda and Guam are going to be the most impacted. So we've been preparing and we've been trying to get things on the ground, and even talking to the mayor of Florida to see how and what we need to do to prepare, and even making a list of priorities that we need to get, or whatever resources we need to get down there post typhoon. So we're working with FEMA, JRM, and National Weather Service to be able to source some of these assets that they're going to most likely need. In the meantime, we have already opened the shelters in Rhoda, and we're working with all the agencies, CUC, Public Works, our Transit Authority, our CHCC, PSS, and having the local agencies, the Rhoda and the mayor's office source out vendors for immediate assistance when and if pre-landfall and even after the storm. So we're pretty much prepared, and we're asking the people of Florida to really take this seriously, because as the hours passes, it looks like this storm is intensifying.
Yes.
So in fact, we had a briefing this morning, and as of here's another briefing from FEMA and GRM going on right now with the team.
There are, Governor, in the latest National Weather Service briefing around 3 o'clock, one of the things that they emphasize repeatedly is that the people in the Marianas should not rely so heavily on or not be married to an exact forecast track. They emphasize that this thing has the possibility or the potential of veering northward. So what sort of preparations are underway for Tinian and Saipan?
So we're on tropical storm condition 2. We're also preparing Saipan, and Rhoda Air is also preparing, making those preparations, and Saipan is a lot better prepared than any of the islands, but because we've gone to U2 5 years ago, and so we kind of understand what we need to do. But because of the difficulties of bringing assets and assistance to Rhoda, we're kind of concentrating right now. But yeah, you're right. We're making sure that we track that, and our Homeland Security Emergency Management Office is in constant communication with National Weather Service.
Is your emergency operations apparatus now on a 24-hour status?
They are working pretty much around the clock. The Special Assistance for Homeland Security is running the show right now.
And what about other preparations from DPW and the resident directors of DPW and CUC cutting down branches in front of power lines and
Right. CUC has been doing that for quite a while already. They've been making sure that the trees and branches are cut around primary lines, and CUC was here yesterday and this morning and gave us a briefing on their preparation.
It sounds like
they're doing all that too.
It sounds like your government, your administration is pretty well oiled and geared to and ready for this thing, as ready as you can be. Is there a final statement you wanted to give to our audience before we let you off the phone?
Well, Troy, safety is paramount, and we encourage people to make sure that they are prepared, especially the people of Rhoda, for this storm. And even the people of Tinian and Saipan also have to prepare, make whatever preparation, whether boarding up your homes, getting your water supplies and food supplies, the whole gamut of preparation that we need, that everybody needs to do, and we encourage them to do just that. Like you said, this thing can veer north, and we'll be right there. Also, in the storm passes, it could pass over Tinian or Saipan, but we're trying to focus a lot of efforts to make sure that we're prepared for Rhoda, and even Tinian is prepared, and so is Saipan.
Well, Governor, we're praying for you, the First Lady, the Lieutenant Governor, and your entire administration and the people of the Commonwealth that you all are safe and there's no loss of life, limb, or property, and as much as possible, and God bless you.
Thank you, and we also pray for the people of Guam.
Thank you very much, Governor. We will relay your sentiments to the people of Guam. God bless you, sir.
Good. All right.
Esther.
So can I just say, if you feel like your home is not strong enough, please go to the shelters.
I believe, I know that we put out the information on where you can call.
Yeah.
I believe that was in last night's live feed. Richard Balearis, governor's spokesman over in the Commonwealth, he sent that information out last night of where, if you are in Rhoda, Tinian, or Saipan, where you can call. You heard the governor emphasize Rhoda and the importance of getting the logistics, the equipment, and all that stuff. Well, for us, it's up to Rhoda. From where they're at, it's down to Rhoda.
Yeah.
And because there just seems to be this, as the time gets closer, as the storm gets closer, it really is looking like it's heading in this direction. But according to National Weather Service, they're not going to be all that expectant of that forecast track until some sort of bend. They say, where is that? An earlier bend, the aforementioned westward bend will be crucial to determining the overall impacts for all the Mariana Islands. An earlier bend, this is a bend in the storm, right, would bring the possibility of typhoon force winds reaching up to Saipan and Tinian. At this time, the most likely scenario is a passage near or over Guam. Well, I guess prayers for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And you heard the governor say he prays for the people of Guam as well. I'm sure the people of Guam very much appreciate that. Likewise, the people of Guam, I'm sure, pray for the people. I pray for the people of the Commonwealth. I was just in Rhoda. What was that, last month or 2 months ago or something? What a beautiful place, and I hope everyone there comes out okay on this. We will, of course, here at Kandit we'll continue in the studio through some point tonight, sign off, come back tomorrow, and provide coverage for you. And then at some point, when it gets too dangerous, we will pack up the shop and take live coverage probably to my house, where hopefully the power stays on as long as possible. And as soon as conditions are okay, get back into the studio and keep on reporting for you guys, because we know that there will be issues with power. Maybe there will be issues with water, There will be issues to report in the Commonwealth for the people of the Commonwealth, possibly especially for the people of Rhoda. And so thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll likely be back later this evening. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
I'm Johnny Rosario.
Good night.
Good night.